right. Here's some more calculations here. Cash flow, right? When we're talking about cash flow for a property, really we're talking about the cash flow available for distribution. This is after all your expenses are paid, after all your mortgage payments are made. This is different from your NOI, right? Why? Because of that mortgage payment we just mentioned. NOI is before the mortgage, and cash flow available for distribution is after mortgage, right? You got to pay the bank, and you can't distribute money to your investors that you're using to pay the bank for the mortgage. So here's your formula right here. Cash flow equals your income less your expenses less your debt service. All right, so let's do an example. Property A is a 120 unit property. It rents at $800 per month. Operating expenses are running $400 per month. And the annual mortgage expense is $250,000. What is the annual cash flow for this property, right? Well, let's go back to our formula. Cash flow equals income minus expenses minus debt service, okay? So what's our income? Well, 120 units times $800 a month times 12 months, okay? And then what's our expenses? All right, $400 a month times 12 months for 120 units, okay? I think we got that. And then debt service, $250,000. That one was an easy one, right? That's just the $250,000 a year. Okay, so at the end of the day, right, your income is going to be $1.15 million. Your expenses, $576,000, and the debt service is $250,000. And at the end, and when you roll all that together, right, your cash flow for this property is going to be $326,000, right? You just do the subtraction there, guys. So that's how you calculate the cash flow of a property.
So your cash flow is different than your NOI. Remember, your NOI is just your income minus your expenses. Your cash flow is going to be income minus expenses minus the debt service.
All right, and let's talk a little bit more about that debt service, right? So what this ratio is looking at is really how well your mortgage payments are covered by your income. This is a big one for the banks, guys, right? They always look at debt service coverage ratio, right? It takes a look at really the financial health of your income as compared to the mortgage that you have to pay, right? Most of the time, those are going to be fixed payments, and you're going to have to make them. And banks, you know, they want to see a debt service coverage ratio of 1.25 or greater, which means you're more than covering your mortgage payments by 25%, right? 1.25. When you're calculating these things, right, you're looking at them over time, right? You would want your debt service coverage ratio to go up. As your property is generating more income, right, you're renovating, it's getting more and more NOI. Your mortgage payments, if you got fixed mortgages, are staying the same. You'd want your debt service coverage ratio going up, which means you've got more income to cover your mortgage payments, and you're way further away from running into a scenario where you're not going to be able to make that mortgage payment. On the flip side, a falling debt service coverage ratio means you potentially are running into solvency issues down the road. You got to do something to turn that thing around, right? We never want to see those fall. Debt service coverage ratio, the formula is over there on the right, guys. It's your net operating income divided by your total debt service for the year.
Right.
So let's run an example here just to see how this is calculated. This is the same property we just looked at, property A. So let's, if we look at the formula, all right, let's pull that up. It's your net operating income divided by your total debt service, and then so your net operating income is going to be what, right? Your 120 units at $800 a month times 12. Right? We already calculated that in the old example. And then we take out your expenses, right? Your $400 a month times 12 times your 120 units. Then you divide that by your debt service, right? Your $250,000 that you have to pay out for your mortgage. So how well is this mortgage covered right here, right? Let's see. 2.3 times, right? That's an amazing debt service coverage ratio, right? That's you got more than 2 times the money that you need to pay your mortgage.
Right. Whereas if that was a 1, right, you would just barely be paying your mortgage.
Yeah, like if you got a 1.05 or something like that, you're not distributing much to your investors, right? Because you're just paying your mortgage and you're pocketing a couple bucks, right? And you're not doing much more than that.
Right. And you're probably, spending that on expenses at the property, right?